And it's time for the news. In our first story, Deputy Minister for Employment and Labour Relations, Bright Rekunbrobey, says the NPP government's record in job provision over the last 3 years has been extraordinary. Contributing to a debate on the President's State of the Nation address delivered to Parliament last week, Mr. Rekunbrobey said various government initiatives have also encouraged the springing up of more jobs in both the industrial and services sectors.
Mr. Speaker, when you get the President addressing the nation like this, and even though we have been able to reduce unemployment rate from 11.9 in 2015 to 7.3, and still promising us, telling us the need to create more jobs, then you must be sure that we are in very safe hands. Mr. Speaker, page 9 of the SONA document talks about how the security services have even been beefed up in terms of human resource, the employment created in that regard. Mr. Speaker, he was able to do this not for nothing. We came in 2017 when we had IMF conditionalities that restricted employment in every sector. By the dint of hard work by His Excellency the President, Mr. Speaker, we weaned ourselves off IMF, and as we speak today, all our security agencies have beefed up personnel, and we can be sure that security is also very, very safe. Mr. Speaker, majority of jobs that have been created since 2017 find themselves in the informal space. Indeed, from the document we are working with in the Employment Ministry, we have about 85% of our workforce in the informal sector, with only 15% in the formal space. The formal space accounts for, the Speaker, 611,397 employees. And in this era, we have 343,458 workers in the municipal, metropolitan, and district assemblies. We also have 267,939 in the formal private sector. The Speaker, the constraint we have, indeed, you see the numbers as the constraint we have is the lack of digitization, which His Excellency the Vice President is tackling so well, so that when employers recruit any persons or give opportunity to any persons in the job space, you will be able to capture. This is very important, I think, that we need to mention. In total, Mr. Speaker, in total, we have over 2 million, in fact, it's 2,204,397 employees since we came into office being added onto the employment space. Indeed, planting for food and jobs alone accounted for about 1,593,000, and this supports the fact that a lot of jobs created are found in the informal space.
Former Minister for Energy, Katie Hammond, is urging the Ministry of Finance to go after international oil firm Tullow and recover more than $75 million in outstanding taxes, warning that the firm is going down. In a statement on the floor of Parliament as the House debated the State of the Nation address by the President, the Member of Parliament Energy Committee said the company has used resources from Ghana for expansion the world over, which since have gone bad. He says the company has shortchanged Ghanaians in the process. Deputy Local Government Minister Obiam also demanded evidence from Katie Hammond to back his allegations.
Mr. Speaker, it is now no longer an open secret. The whole world is now aware. Financial Times of London. Mr. Speaker, this is the publication of Tuesday, the 10th of December, 2019. There are as many as 4 articles, Mr. Speaker, on Tullow. First, on the very first page, oil boom star, Tullow plunges 70% after cut to output forecast. The gist, the gravamen of it all is that Tullow, by its own admission, Mr. Speaker, has collapsed. It's trying to sell out. It is clearly stated in this document, 4 items. The most worrying aspect, Mr. Speaker, is that this country has been made to accept that Tullow, and indeed our economic forecast, the finance ministry and everything, is predicated on some of the indices given by these companies. We have been given to accept that in the year 2020, Tullow was going to produce, or to embark on a production forecast of nothing less than 100 barrels of oil, Mr. Speaker, per day. At a point in time, we thought 100,000 barrels per day. Mr. Speaker, we had actually been given to understand that that might even appreciate to about 120,000 barrels. Mr. Speaker, it is very clear the industry is telling us that they do not intend to do any such thing. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, they do not even have the capacity to. That it has now been downgraded, and if anything, we'll be lucky to have about 70 barrels or so, 70,000 barrels, Mr. Speaker, per day.
KT Hammond has also been defending the allegations. He says is on a downward path and Ghana should not be at the losing end.
Sorry about Tullow, it's an unfortunate one. We had our Jubilee field. Yes,
the locals, they are cutting.
We listen to that. Well,
they are laying off.
Everybody.
And
I mean,
many have argued that government can do something about that.
Well, you see, what can government do? As it is, government cannot sustain Tullow if they want to go. I mean, Anadako decided to sell out. They have their shares. Ghana has its shares through GNPC and other carried forward, whatever. But that's all, the extent to which we have control over them. Of course, legally and all those things, but you cannot force them to remain. Petroleum Commission can do something about the activities in respect of local content, I mean, those things. But it's very limited. They just come, they've exploited our resources. I mean, basically treating us very badly, very badly.
We had a poor agreement then.
Well, no, it is not. No. It wasn't the agreement itself. The agreement hasn't been very bad. They were supposed to do ABC. It is in the end when oil was discovered and the production started. It is the practices, the sharp practices. And of course, they themselves have been, I think, excessively paying the experts. They are in massive debt. Absolutely debt-ridden, completely ridden.
Well, away from Parliament, residents in part of Accra spanning New Russia, Sukura, and areas around Latibia-Okoshi, especially Radio Gold, say they have sleepless nights as a result of severe water shortage. Many of them have to queue at pipe spots from midnight, just waiting for water to flow, which always is also not guaranteed. It's all Joy News. Despite these challenges, they have seen a surge in their bills they pay to the Ghana Water Company. They currently are appealing to government to intervene.
The water doesn't come at all. It's 1 week, 2 weeks before the water will come. And it doesn't come in the daytime, sometimes in the evening, somewhere 12, 1 going, and to come like 1, 2 hours time. I do close late from work side. And if I come, the time that I used to sleep, I have to wake up and then be fetching water. So in fact, it is affecting us here, 3-4 years now.
A free Sukura, Russia, Ecopim Radio God, Yensu, Maffa, Ebimo Nantico, Chiri, Trogo, so Kamuki, and no more the gallons a good Naecopen, so ye Nimobianson carrying. I do copper basin at a tank, and son, I walk up a water tank and son, no more in Swabegum, Terramu and so dear, a problem, Palma,
1 o'clock, our barber, one not have one take train shoe. It's a normal debate, I cannot be a better home.
40 be a almost share no more by my Uninsua, assembly. It's in Suni, a dear Bibia, Uninsua, a man who chereba. to the big cry and quite in school. So I got a pipe and I know nsuo no emba nti na sese ni obenya no ye de benu aduane ofia na eno ano na wa science school nti mpenfo mbo mode ana mo behwe man se bi force bi na aba na ye.
Well, before we go, 2 years ago, it was a town in the dark, cut off from the rest of the world just because it did not have a mobile telephony network. Residents had to trek for over 30 minutes to hang their phones under a tree on the outskirts of the town just to make and also receive a call. Joining us first threw light on the plight of the residents of the Upper West regional town of Kpawogo in 2018. Today, the town has mobile connection because a communication mast has since been built for them. In our Impact series this week, Joy News' Justice Baidu went back to see how this transformation is impacting lives.
This was a trip we made in May 2018 on motorbikes with the villagers of Kpawogo, traveling to make a phone call.
This is a daily ritual here. Hundreds of people make this sometimes perilous journey, traveling for up to an hour just so they could place a phone call to connect with other human beings.
For we dear, you have to travel, look for a motorbike to fuel and go to that place to do the call. At times you think as if you are not even part of Ghana. When you come back to this village, as if you have just gone back into a hole.
The story we first told and the coverage that followed in the days after that inspired change. Today, things are not the same. This mast was built in June 2019, marking a turnaround in the community's story.
Journey people, they have done what Napoli cannot do for us.
I've come back to the home of Ilyasu Halidu, who I interviewed on our first visit here. Ilyasu had just lost her pregnant wife who was in labor because there was no network to place a phone call for an ambulance when her delivery got complicated.
Now we get change. Now if we get that emergency, so we can help ourselves. So if anywhere you can make a call, so to get ambulance or any car to help us.
On another side of the town, some of the village's old and frail men and women have come for their monthly payment from the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty LEAP program. The payment process is done via a mobile device which requires connectivity.
Before the network, this community used to go to Kende for their money, 9 miles from here. And there, even upon they going there, the network still there was not good.
How much? Abubakar Salia, like many here, is a farmer. The main farming season is over, and so people like him would ordinarily be idle at this time of the year. He now has started the community's first and only mobile money center with the network.
Right now that we are doing it here, even not Kpawogo alone, the surrounding communities, all of them comes here to make withdrawal or send money to their relatives.
So I'm able to stream a YouTube video right here in Kpawogo. I just sent an email, and also before right now been streaming videos on Facebook. It goes to show the critical bridge that data and the network that is now available here is serving to connect people in places like Kpawogo to the rest of the world.
Mama V's here. Mama V, what's up?
Hi. I'm good. How are
Great.
you?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a great Friday. We have a relationship. So
yeah, it's a relationship Friday. We're talking about, I don't know, this one, dear, we'll need you to get involved in from the very beginning because it sounds really big. Somebody who's dated now her boss for 7 years and he's still chasing her even though she's married in the same office. How do you handle a thing like that when we all know it's not so easy to get a new job these days? Take a transfer. Like, it sounds easy, but I know it's not. And we like to get experiences. So if this is your story or you've been here before, we want to know how you did it so we can give a friend that same advice. So join us on our Relationship Friday segment on Dear AM. We've got some newspapers in the studio, not a lot. So let's start with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the graphic, it says, averts this environmental time bomb. And on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper, which you would see in a short while, billows of smoke from burning refuse and e-waste along the banks of the polluted Odo River here in Accra. They've got an aerial shot there by Douglas Anane Frimpong. It just doesn't need a lot of words. It explains what the issue. This is something that we've known all along for a very long time. It's a beautiful, a beautiful picture telling a horrible story. Yeah. But more floods to hit Accra this year. Meteo warns. Story says the Ghana Meteorological Agency has warned that floods in Accra are going to increase this year due to the low resilience of the area to adapt to heavy rains. So 2020 season was going to be mostly similar or to or slightly lower in terms of rainfall amounts and distribution than last year's. A lot more details they explained in the paper. Process to create Office of Registrar of Companies begins. WAPCO resumes supply to Ghana. That has to do with the reason we have the blackout. So a bit of that on page 16. It says the West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited has successfully completed the clean and seize exercise on its pipeline 1 month ahead of schedule. This will be welcome news for the energy sector, as it is expected that the resumption of gas supply would make enough gas available for power generation, which for some time now has been inadequate, resulting in some level of load management. To the back page, Goldfields hands over completed project to host communities, and timber export to EU starts by close of year. Let's follow up with the Finder. Front page, failure to complete road projects on time, 168.5 million Ghana cedis. $37.8 million costs variations on only 2 contracts, totaling 65.6 kilometers. All this coming out from the work of the Auditor General, which a lot of people are insulting, by the way. See, when you tend to do good things, not everybody will like you. In fact, the majority of the people may not like you, but still, you go strong and you bring out the rots in the system. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, definitely.
CBG pays 8,884 individual customers. Free SHS is good. European Union MP making that comment there. 85% of Ghanaians say judges, court officials are corrupt. That's the latest Afro barometer coming out. A bit of it on page 6. But before that, ECG extends power to 400 communities in Eastern Region. So the latest round of the Afro Barometer report by the Center for Democratic Development has concluded that 85% of Ghanaians believe judges and court officials are corrupt. Another set of respondents, 52%, believe that the entire judicial system is corrupt. This was reviewed by research done by the think tank, which surveyed Ghanaians on their experience of the judicial system. This corruption perception is prevalent among both respondents, who said they had not had contact with the judicial system, representing 5%, and those who said they had not in the last year. Also, only about 32% of persons interviewed said they trusted the courts somewhat. Only about 31% of respondents rated the judiciary favorably on independence. A similar number, which is 30%, rated the judiciary on professionalism, while 21% said the judiciary was fair. About 18 thought it is responsive, while 16% responded thinking the judiciary is transparent. But the greater number, you know, I think the scary thing is people who haven't had any experience at all. They haven't been anywhere close to the system, but they've got the perception that they are corrupt. That's a lot of work to be done by Justice Kwesi Enin-Yeboah.
Yeah, true. True.
Let's do the Ghanaian Times real quick. Front page of the Times. Deal with Get Fund officials, past, present, for abuse of power. That's a call from some graduate student. I guess that's where the concentration is. Instead of people spending their time lambasting the Auditor General, let's deal with the issues that has been revealed. Something that if they had not conducted that audit, we would all just be sitting down. It would have just continued. Who knows? It's even continuing today. GJA fumes at Parliament over Speaker's ruling on media coverage. Details of the GJA's release, I thought it was fantastic, spot on, especially after what Parliament even tried to do yesterday with that. I'm not sure. I mean, Speaker didn't say anything.
Yesterday they convened the press conference.
Yes, it was yesterday. Speaker didn't say anything different from what he had said that got all of us talking and trying to distinguish that journalists are not members of Parliament. They don't come under the control of Mr. Speaker. Neither are they paid. We don't get those allowances. Our court correspondent doesn't get the allowances that members of Parliament get. If there's anybody, and the GJA statement is also telling them that if there's anybody that you should check, it should be your members. Whip them in line. You have no business controlling our content as media. And I thought that was a very strong statement coming from the Ghana Journalists Association. It makes you proud that you're a journalist, you know? Yeah. Definitely. So big ups, Mr. Afel Money. Also, Ghana loses 25 million Ghana cedis to H1N1 in 2010-2011 due to failure to plan against disease. Also, according to the Auditor General. A businesswoman in court for 1 million Ghana cedis fraud. Ofosuampofo Kweku Boahin case, audio recording admitted in evidence. ACG disconnects, is it Fawe FM over alleged power theft? Okay, a lot more there. On the back page, Kotoko eager to bounce back against Bichim United.
Okay, so let's take it over and do, let me do the Daily Dispatch. Daily Dispatch has on the front page, Speaker's warning to Parliament press spot on. According to Benefson, there's a variation to the GJA's position and the position of many journalists on the subject. And this one is a quote from experienced journalists, and he's being quoted as saying, veteran journalist Benefson has defended the Speaker of Parliament over his threat to revoke the accreditation of the Parliamentary Press Corps for choosing a minority presser over debate in the House. It is forbidden if they have any doubts. The Speaker said, but let me go to Mr. Benefson's comment. He says, for a blanket threat would seem he is being partisan, but he must remember that every one of them is at the behest of the country, and whether you have the power or the prerogative to, I do not think it is right for him to issue that threat. In fact, issuing that threat is a worry, and we don't do things that way. That's what Mr. Benefson said. However, Mr. Benefson believes the priority of the media in the chamber should be on the activities on the floor. I think that it was in the right direction. I think it was wrong for the press corps to leave the chamber to go and follow someone who has decided to abstain from proceedings. The minority took away their right to debate. The journalists could have spoken to the minority after the debate. I think my colleagues were wrong. We should stop being used as a rubber stamp when it's time for the IS Gracia discussion. Don't they throw the media out? He told from.
You know, I think what some people are refusing to realize was the fact that the debates, the one-sided debate, was boring for anybody covering that. And unless you had any other story, what's your editor going to do? Publish the one-sided thing? I mean, it was boring. So, and I think that, see, if the leadership of Parliament had called the pressmen privately and had a conversation, said, Charlie Jack, you guys can't do this. You know how it looks. It looks really horrible that you guys leave us when we're doing work on the floor and then you chase somebody who decides not to participate. This shouldn't have even come out. You know, like, but where you sit there and you make it look like you're directing their work, then everybody will have a say on it. If they had been quiet, private conversation with media, just, you know, tell them like heart to heart. But when you do that show and come back and tell me that like father figure, Asa, when we go to Parliament, we don't do mother father there. We do work. You get what I mean? Yeah. It's not sensational. It's pure work. I think people should get the distinction. I think there's a judiciary, there's a legislature, there's an executive, there's media. Yeah.
Okay. So moving on also, we have Ghana is the fastest growing economy in Africa, OBG, and forget about the acronyms. I'll tell you what the OBG means. It means the Oxford Business Group. They have a yet to be published report that is indicating that Ghana's economy is the fastest in Africa in terms of growth. President sends railway minister on working visit to South Africa and Angola. We also do know the president is also in Europe. Whether he's come back. Speaker does not owe journalists any apology. Majority and minority leaders. All there.
Take the position. So they can also decide to leave when they want to. When they feel the news is somewhere else. You don't determine where the news is. Yeah, that's it.
I think editorial discretion is at the discretion.
I think people don't get it. You know, like you're not sent to Parliament. It's not mandatory for you to be in Parliament.
Actually, I'm thinking that if I was a parliamentary reporter and I have the minority boycotting proceedings and they're having a press conference outside the chamber,
Massa.
Which one is more news?
Yeah, of course. I mean, even on the day...
The only thing that will take, I think, somebody who's a good journalist to stay in the chamber is if, let's say, an MP was collapsing or there was a bomb blast or something of the sort, which was more news.
See?
No, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's a fact. Yeah. Listen, I was interested. I was interested, I tell you what, sorry. When the minority walked out on that day, the State of the Nation address, I was wondering, where were they going? Like, are they leaving the premises of Parliament? Are they going back to their offices? So I was interested in what our colleague, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, did for us, which is make a follow-up and find out exactly what they were doing. And a lot of people were interested in knowing what the MPs, after they had left the main chamber, what they were doing. And it was fascinating. Some of them were watching television, the same speech that they had gotten out of the chamber, and people thought, oh, they don't want to listen. They had gone to their offices to watch, and I found that more interesting.
Yeah, and the thing too is that journalists tend to exhibit editorial decision-making each time of the day they are on the job.
Yeah.
And a good journalist is someone who is able to determine what is editorially a good content.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because when you come back, you'll be berated for not taking the right decisions when you were on the job.
If another media house had another story that you didn't have, your editor will tell you, so where were you? It's like, oh, I was in the chamber doing what? You know, that kind of thing. So, Charlie, MPs, you've got to understand our work. I think it's the leadership, really. It's not all MPs, because we had quite a number of MPs also condemning.
Well, yesterday, the member of parliament from Myon was here.
Yeah, Abdulaziz. Some members of parliament condemning that statement by their own speaker. You're done with your papers?
Let me do the Daily Guide, and then you can conclude with a statement. You haven't done a statement, have you?
No, I haven't.
All right. NDC man confirms Ofosu-Ampofo for leaked tape. We also do have Ghana opens consulate in Dortmund, in Germany, of course. And the new honorary consul, certificate of appointment to the new honorary consul for Ghana in Germany is Klaus Wegener. We also do have MPP will retain power Lembele. DC is saying. Parliament cools down media after speakers fiat. So those are the stories we have. Okay.
All right, let's do the last newspaper, and we'll do myjoyonline.com. That's our website. The Daily Statesman is the last paper that we will do. Ghana's agriculture is now ranked 4th best in Africa. Mahama's running mate won't die. Pastor Jackson dispels fears among JDM supporters. Mahama Yariga Cage to Boko MP can't leave Ghana without court permission. So by way of headlines on the front page of the Daily Statesman, that's how it looks like. Roland, you found any interesting stories you want to?
No, let's go to myjoyonline.com.
So whilst we get ready to do myjoyonline.com, Lesedi Al-Hassani, you're 8 years today. Happy birthday to you. May the good Lord bless you and continue to make you blessing in your generation. It's from your mom, Mirabel, and of course your dad, John Al-Hassani. So Lesedi, happy birthday to you today. All right, we're ready for myjoyonline? Here we go. Anti-Galamsey force Operation Vanguard to withdraw from all bases. But if you listen to the information that's coming through, particularly shared by our colleague Seth Kwame Boateng, they say it's entered into another phase of the operation. So there's a whole new arrangement. This particular task force, they were actually on the ground. They will be in the forest. And try to stop people who try to do illegal mining activities. But this other team will be kept somewhere else and called into when there is whatever. It's still not very clear. But that's
Erastus also was saying that we're going to
For me, the fact that the military, these guys are leaving, that's a big worry to me. Because is it solely the Ghana Police Service that will be handling the Galamsey as the illegal mining activities going forward?
I'm not too clear about that. What Erastus did confirm, though, was that it's going to be mainly made up of the police. But I think that if it's the special force of the police, SWAT or whatever, then it also puts them into a perspective. Look, we have to identify or delineate the issues. The issues are that the police and the soldiers are well trained. Is the composition of the forces, those individuals who get tainted because they get tempted to get corrupt. and for me, I don't take any comfort in the fact that we're going to deploy a new team and think that everything is going to be fine. They're also human beings.
Well, but even
if you go seizing people's equipment, and you arrest them and you don't prosecute them quickly, it also means that they come back there and you have no choice than to say, make a decision. Do I take money from them and they go back?
I think
because they will come back anyway.
Heartbreaking, Roland, is where you arrest someone, you find somebody engaging in an illegal activity and then you arrest them and then you get a call to let them go. And the people, so people are now doing it with impunity. And Lateef Idris went around with the sector minister, that's the mines minister, where he talks about as they were going round, they actually saw people engaging in the same activity that we have a whole operation, a whole interministerial team trying to stop it. So people are now even doing it with impunity. And this is more like in your face, like we don't care, like, you know, there are more powerful people out there. So it really, I'm not sure if it gives me hope that the military is pulling out of this and this is solely going to be handled by the police. So listen, we can engage your thought on it. You can send us a message if you're hopeful with this information that we're getting, that this would now going forward be handled entirely by a different team, but not Operation Vanguard. But I guess our time is up. You can go to myjoyonline.com and learn more about the stories on myjoyonline.com. Just before we run, though, the Federal Ministry of Health has confirmed the coronavirus disease, COVID-19, in Nigeria. This is in the Lagos state. The case, which was confirmed on the 27th of February, is the first case to be reported in Nigeria since the beginning of the outbreak in China, January 2020. Now that it's very close to us, coming from Nigeria, a lot of people are being alert now because now we realize it has come really close. It's the first case in Sub-Saharan Africa. Very worrying for us in Ghana. So, we'll talk about this issue as well. You've got to stay with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Francis Amo today.
Yeah, definitely. We have a well-packed package for you today. And apart from the relationship, Francis Amo is also coming to, so I know you're going to enjoy it. We just watch his clip. Theodoric Segbafia of Rana Motor, sales boss or sales manager of Rana Motor. Today is your birthday. And Robert Coleman, chief executive for Wembley Sports Construction Ghana Limited, says have a great happy birthday. We're taking a break. Over right back with sports.
Hello, very good morning to you wherever you are. My name is Benedict Host. Welcome to the sports segment here on the AM show. A lot to expect this coming weekend here on the local scene. The Ghana Premier League is back after last weekend's run of matches in the MTN FA Cup run of 64 games. And also on the international stage, we'll see action in the English Premier League. Liverpool out to extend their lead on top of the English Premier League table when they go away to Watford. Other interesting games to look forward to in England, Italy, Spain, and everywhere when it comes to sports and the major European leagues. But of course, we have to start here on the local scene and build up to match day 12 of the Ghana Premier League. And our Accra Olympics are in the news because they have a new coach, that's Arnold Walker. He will play his very first game in this season's Ghana Premier League. Aside Arnold Walker, they have two experienced players in the team. Emmanuel Clottey, who is captain, and Gladson Awako. These are returnees to the Premier League. And I went to their training grounds to speak to them on their influence on the team and also their coach, Arnold Walker.
Experience is needed in every field. The words of coach Arnold Walker. And this is a fact. Here at Accra Olympics, they have two experienced players, Gladson Awako and Emmanuel Clottey, who is captain of the team. These are returnees, played in the Ghana Premier League from 2012 until they left the local scene. They are back here in Ghana and they are playing for Accra Olympics. We are here to find out their story, what motivated them to come back to the Premier League, and what are some of the changes they've noticed since coming back to play here in Ghana. Before the start of every training session, Coach Arnold Walker speaks to Clottey, the skipper, and his friend and teammate Gladson Awako, the two most experienced players in the team. Emmanuel Clottey, a known potent striker whose name will not be out of a list of 10 strikers to have lighted up the local league in the last decade, a career which began at Brazil Academy and later became the top scorer of the Ghana Premier League in 2007. Clottey moved abroad and came back in 2009 to play for Olympics before joining Chelsea in 2010. He moved out again after an illustrious campaign with Chelsea in the 2012 CAF Champions League. After some seasons out, the man is back at his boyhood club.
No, I never think that before, because as a footballer, when you have that in your mind, it means you don't know what you are doing. Football, one day, you change everything. So you have to focus and play your game.
So you don't have any regrets coming back to play in the Premier League?
No, never, never.
Emmanuel Clottey is definitely enjoying the Premier League. But can the same be said of his friend Gladson Awako, who just as Clottey moved out after the 2012 Champions League heroics with Bochum Chelsea?
Compared to those days when I was here playing, compared to the players we had then and now, I can't say the quality is the same, though there is a lot of good players in here. Yeah, we have great players, good players, but the quality won't be the same. Not that I'm trying to disrespect or downplay my fellow players or not, but there's good players in there, which I think we are catching there.
Was it that difficult for you, to switch back to Ghana?
Well, myself, it wasn't difficult for me at all, because I know what I was looking for. I know why I came back to play. So it was very easy for me to make that decision to play. With the views and the comments coming, I think I'm not doing bad. So I believe, yeah, sure, things are going the way I planned and how I wanted.
Awako began his career with Bochum Arsenal and went on to play for All Stars, Heart of Lions. At a point, he went on trials at the English Premier League side Tottenham Hotspur, then moved to Segunda Division club Recreativo de Huelva, where he spent half a year before coming back to play for Lions. His last local team before joining TP Mazembe was Bochum Chelsea. Awako is hoping to help the young ones with the experience gained roaming around the world.
I try my best with the likes of Clottey, Saka, so we try our best to help, to talk to them and how to, for them also, the way they should comport themselves in games and training and all that. So we do help them a lot, especially the game times. Yeah.
Clottey, after match day 11, has scored 2 goals for Olympics. He says he's enjoying the league and hopes to make a huge impact.
Oh, our target is to play top 4, and I know at the game that we are playing, we'll be there.
So So it's not just about Olympics participating in the league and at the end of the day going back to relegation?
Oh, never. I don't think this year Olympics will go to relegation. Never.
Arno Walker is the third coach of Accra go to Olympics after match day 11. According to him, he's blessed to have both Emmanuel Clottey and Gladson Awako on board. Talk of players, you have two experienced players in your team. I'm talking about your skipper Emmanuel Clottey and then Gladson Awako. These are guys that we're playing here in the local league, went abroad, and now they are back in the country. How influential have they been so far to everything that you're doing here?
Okay, honestly, in everything that you do, you need experience. In any institution, you definitely need an experienced players, workers in your institution. So, in fact, with their experience and for where they have the level that they played will also help me, because on the field, from the touchline, maybe on the touchline, on the field, they will, in fact, coach on the field and tell the players what to do with their experience.
All right, so Coach Arno Walker and the boys this weekend will face Mediama SC, and that will be his first game since taking charge of the team following the exit of Seth Hoffman. So that game is one of many matches that will be played on match day 12 of the Ghana Premier League. Actually starts tonight with Friday night football at the Accra Stadium. Asante Kotoko are playing away from home, and they are up against Bichim United. This is due to the temporary closure of the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. So that game is happening tonight at the Accra Stadium. It's week 12. Fixture. Other games that will be played, and majority of the game will be on Sunday. So we'll have two games on Saturday: Dreams FC, Diana Stars, and then Legon Cities at the Accra Stadium will take on Techiman 11 Wonders. Accra to folk at the same venue. That's the Accra Stadium play. Omena Sharks become Chelsea, Kim Faisal, Dwarfs, Inter-Allies, Liberty, Karela, and then Mediama SC will come up against the Olympics with Wafa up against Ashanti Gold. Well, away from the Ghana Premier League, the Ghana Women's League enters match day 7 this weekend. Also happens to be the end of the first round. Well, my colleague, that's Susan Owusu Ansa, has a report of nominees for Player and Coach of the Month.
Nominees for the Ghana Women's Premier League Coach and Player Awards for the month of February have been revealed. The award, sponsored by NASCO, is the first of its kind in the history of women's football in Ghana. The Coach of the Month award will be battled for by 3 managers: Coach Imoro Amadu of Prisons Ladies, Hazakes Ladies Yusuf Basiki, and Soccer Intellectuals boss Emmanuel Selassie Pentem. Imoro Amadu have guided Prisons Ladies to the top of the Northern Zone, winning 16 out of the possible 18 points. They remain the only unbeaten team in the league. Yusuf Basiki led his side from losing 2 games on the trot at the beginning of the season to a winsome side. The team has so far won 4 matches in a row and now occupy the apex in the Southern Zone. For Selassie Pentem, his Soccer Intellectuals have been impressive and are deservedly in second position of the Southern Zone. The Player of the Month has 5 nominees: Ampemdakwan Ladies Ophelia Sewan Ponsam, Hazakes Ladies Dio Melot Abna Pokua, and Doris Bedua. Northern Ladies Rahama Jaffa and Helena Obeying of Prisons Ladies. Ophelia Sewan Ponsam leads the scorers chart with 10 goals in 6 games and was also the first player to have scored a hat-trick this season. She has also won the Player of the Match award on 2 occasions. Abna Pokua has 9 goals in 6 games and has provided 9 assists. She is the first player to have scored 2 hat-tricks this season and has also won Player of the Match award 2 times. Doris Bedua has scored 8 goals in the competition and won 1 Player of the Match award. For Rahama Jaffa, she has scored 6 goals in 6 matches and also received 3 Player of the Match awards. Helena Obeying has 3 goals and 4 assists in 6 games.
Round 1 of the Women's League reaches its climax this weekend, but it could be without some notable names who are out on international duty with the Black Maidens for a World Cup qualifier against Liberia on first March. Southern Zone leaders Hazakes Ladies, who are on 12 points and have scored 22 goals so far, will travel to the Tema Sports Stadium to face Halifax Ladies, aiming to consolidate their top spot. Second-placed Soccer Intellectuals will welcome the team with the most conceded goals of 16, Lady Strikers at the Eduya Asasan Park. Police Ladies with 4 points will hope to end the first round on a high when they visit Samaria Ladies at the Magdan La Town Park, with Sea Lions hosting winless Immigration Ladies at the Indom Sports Stadium. In the Northern Zone, Ampem Dakuma will be without their literal striker Ophelia Sewa Amponsa and talisman Tracy Chum when they play away to Kumasi Sports Academy at the Pajo Park. While Pelpia Ladies at the Tamale Utrecht Park take on bottom-placed Ashtown Ladies. The only undefeated team, Prisons Ladies, will battle Northern Ladies in Sunyai at the Coronation Park. Both Supreme Ladies and Fabulous Ladies, who are yet to record a win so far, will face off at the Pajo Park on Sunday.
All right, so that was Susan Owusu-Ansah's report. Now, let's quickly check what happened in the UEFA Europa League last night. Arsenal are out of the competition after 120 minutes. They lost to Olympiacos by 2-1 at the Emirates Stadium. The game ended 2-2 on aggregate, but Olympiacos go through on the away goal rule. Manchester United also are through to the next stage of the competition. They beat Club Brugge at home by 5-0. And guess what? Odion Ighalo got a first start and also scored his first goal for the side. Enjoy the highlights.
Well, we'll get more updates subsequently right here on the channel, but also you do know that the Nigerian authorities are reporting of a case that has been confirmed. Somebody who works in Nigeria but traveled from Italy, Milan, and subsequently now has been confirmed to be a carrier of a virus. And now Nigeria has its first coronavirus case. It is the first in sub-Saharan Africa, even though in Northern Africa, for Algeria and Egypt, a case each has been recorded. Well, we brought you up to speed. Again, we'll do that, get real-time information as to the number of cases so far, and we'll bring you the site where the cases are. You also get to see. Let's go to Africa, and you get to find that you have a case in Nigeria. You go up, and Nigeria is just close to us, because from Nigeria you go through to Benin, Togo, and then Ghana. Our borders still are open. There's a case, however, also in Egypt and then Algeria. Let's go towards the right and head to the Middle East, and you stay there. We have Oman reporting 4 cases. Oman reporting 4 cases. We also have Bahrain, and we'll go to the Middle East. Bahrain, let's go closer. When we get a little closer, so you find Bahrain has 4 cases. We have 33 for Bahrain. Oman has 4. The United Arab Emirates, which seems to be the center for us connecting most of the flights to Asia, to India, etc., having also recorded 13 cases. Iran, though, they have 245 so far, 26 reported deaths, and out of the 245, we do know that their deputy health minister is said to be a carrier or has been infected. Kuwait has some 43 cases, no deaths so far. Iraq has 6. So the Middle East seems to be a beehive of increasing cases of coronavirus. What the World Health Organization has been worried about is the related issues about how the health systems of those countries would be able to navigate or cater for the cases as and when they are reported. In the meantime, the areas around Afghanistan is reporting 1, Pakistan 2, and then when we head towards India, we have three cases that seem to have been reported so far. And this is real-time data. This is how you can track how it is. Now let's go to the epicenter, Asia and China, and mainly where we have the cases emanating from the Hubei province and Wuhan specifically, a city of about 11 million people. The whole of China is recording 78,824 confirmed cases. So far, deaths exceeding some 2,780. And Hong Kong has 93 confirmed cases. We also do have 2 reported deaths from neighboring Hong Kong. And Taiwan has a reported death, but 32 confirmed cases as well. It speaks volumes about the increasing number of cases so far, what it also means about the trend. And it looks like all the various continents across the globe seem to be reporting it. And the World Health Organization is linking this to the constant travel of or throughput of the travels of people in and out of countries. But so far, the cases that have been reported globally, 83,309 cases. So we have 83,309 cases so far, and reported deaths, 2,885. China is always leading because that's where it started. South Korea is following some 2,022 cases and 13 deaths as well, and 705 in that cruise ship alone. Well, now we have people quarantined, 4 deaths reported so far, and then we have Italy. Outside of China, you come to Europe. They are leading with some 650, and it's all because of the interconnectedness of many people coming through the Mediterranean, making entry into Italy, and subsequently also traveling out of Italy. And you can find the link between that travel from Italy, Milan specifically, into Lagos, where we have that case reported. And it also speaks volumes about how the cases seem to be traveling, or the disease seems to be traveling. So we have a major trade relations with the United Arab Emirates, where we tend to have a lot of interconnected flights from Ghana to Dubai, and then you get to, whether it's to India, to China, and I know that we have a lot of travelers to Thailand as well, and Vietnam, Cambodia. So it speaks to the World Health Organization's fears that where we have to look to is sub-Saharan Africa. Now, Nigeria reporting the case would also mean that well, we need to take a further look at our health systems, and the question will be, are we prepared? We'll be speaking to officials of the Ghana Health Service. They'll get to tell us. If you come to what the chart is, it also tells you Japan having 202 cases reported so far, Hong Kong with 93, the United States of America, Kuwait, etc. And these are just the countries that have the volumes, but we have the Macau's having 10, and then the smaller cases that we're having around, for example, in Nigeria and Egypt and Algeria also reporting 1 each when it comes to the continent of Africa. But please make sure you join us. We'll have a relationship segment, but this is still topical as well, and we'll get you up to speed with the latest of information with regards to coronavirus right here on the AM Show. We just did a relationship, talking about all the things earlier.
We didn't just do the relationship.
Briefing you, and definitely.
We didn't just do the relationship.
Right, definitely.
Looks like the relationship today will be me and you.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah, we're yet to do the relationship.
Right, and we just gave you an update of the coronavirus and looking at all the numbers and related issues. But in the meantime, we have to get more updates. And we do have Olumayowa Tijani with the Cable newspaper base in the capital, Lagos, is where also we've had the first case reported. And good morning to you, Mr. Tijani.
Good morning.
And yeah, the first question I would want to ask you, how is the media reporting this in the first place, in and around Nigeria, so to speak?
I think that the media has, like every part of Nigeria, has been prepared for a time like this. So everybody's trying to be as responsible as possible in the sort of reporting that we are having at this point in time. So for now, most of the reporting we've seen has been very responsible in nature. and, of course, offering as much help as possible to the reading public.
What was the, how did they communicate the news in the first place, beyond just the press release?
Okay, so before now, for most of the cases, most of the persons returning from countries affected by the coronavirus disease have had to undergo some sort of screening. So as at yesterday, the Center for Disease and Control, Nigerian Center for Disease Control, had tested 11 people, and all of them turned out negative. So we've been following the news. They've been giving us information, updates on every particular case that they checked out. And so when this happened, in fact, the press release came out at about midnight. And when that came out, we were in a situation where we had reported consistency on how there have been tests, and of course, we've not found anything up until now. There's been reporting from the airport, from places that we consider a little bit vulnerable at this time. So it's just the press release, and of course, some level of relief, some level of, okay, if you find anybody in this particular situation, this is how to get help and all that.
Okay, so now we have the Center for Disease Control in that statement indicating that they had rallied all the support group following their experiences in Ebola and the crisis that it resulted in the West African country. Now, how has that been able to help in trying to spread information, one, and keep communication tight in relation to the first case that has now been confirmed?
Okay, so one of the lessons we learned from the Ebola virus disease was that if we work together, we can win. And so that's one thing that we've been telling ourselves in the media, in relationship with civil society organizations, with the regulatory agencies, with the Disease Control Center. So everybody has come to a space where we feel that the only way we can combat this sort of disease is by working together. So nobody is going alone at this point in time, because, of course, if we don't work together, we get so far in the long run together. So it's just best for every one of us to work together. And this has been the situation with the NCDC and, of course, with the Lagos State government. So, of course, as before now, we had expected that this was going to come in through, if at all, the highest probability was going to be through the Murtala Mohammed Airport, which, of course, has the largest traffic from regions affected by this disease. So I feel like that preparation from the Ebola crisis has sort of helped the nation galvanize all stakeholders and saying, okay, this is what we must do at this point in time.
Now, the statement doesn't state whether the case is a Nigerian or not. All that it says is that the person works in Nigeria. Is the person an expatriate or not, or a local?
Yes, the person is an expatriate. The person is not a Nigerian. He's said to have just returned from Italy. So the Lagos State government suggested in a statement that the person is an Italian. Though we cannot say that for sure, but not likely a Nigerian.
Okay. And then also you get to find out in the reports, many of the international media kept using a Nigerian woman at an airport. So the nationality issue was also confusing. But in the first place, what are the preparations at the Nigerian airports, the Murtala airports specifically, knowing that that's the main port of entry?
Okay, so some of our reporters were at the Murtala Mohammed Airport some days ago, and one of the things we found was that they had been given fresh equipment to measure temperature and a few other things for everyone arriving at the airport. There's a video released like yesterday and some pictures which was showing the whole process of screening and all that. So some level of preparation had existed, and of course, having tested 11 cases, before now, it clearly shows that the agencies have been preparing one way or the other. And of course, Nigerian Ministry of Health says that about 620 million naira has been, and that's about nearly $2 million has been set apart for this sort of situation. So we've been prepared, first by the Ebola crisis, second, at this point in 2020, to kind of pick this up when it comes. And so I think that's one of the things that we are enjoying now. And of course, with this first case, I'm sure that the state government is going to have to reinforce the screening methods and all that, so we don't get more than we already have.
All right. Thank you very much. With the cable newspaper base in Lagos City, we have Oluwamayowa Tijani giving us the latest update from Nigeria. First case reported and confirmed. And
yeah, it makes it all very scary because you know Nigerians are neighbors.
Yeah. I mean, literally, they're just here.
Yeah. It comes. So
we have friends who are Nigerians too.
Exactly.
So it brings the issue closer.
So you know, then we begin to ask ourselves,
what have we done?
Our preparedness again. You know, even though we've been talking about it a lot, we've been engaging the Ghana Health Service, the Ministry of Health. I went to Nogochi not too long ago to engage with the director there because that's where all the testing, you know, would take place, suspected cases. So it brings back the issue of our preparedness. And you know, one of our colleagues, PAC, also did a story about the Tema General Hospital and the fact that they don't have water running through their taps, even though that's a designated center in case of any suspected case in Accra, at least, or in the Greater Accra region. So it just brings back, are we prepared? What are we doing? That kind of thing. Yeah, so basically that. And our friends in Nigeria, they've done this before with Ebola. They handled it quite well, even though they had some casualties in the end, but they controlled it. So we're very hopeful, and we know that they have the capacity to control this situation as well. It's just, you know, we'll continue to pray and hope that it doesn't get any worse than it has gotten. Yeah.
All right, we have to transition and do our relationship segment, and we're talking DIAM.
Yes, DIAM. That's the segment where we encourage you. You know, we all have relationship issues, and we can't deal with it by ourselves. So we encourage you, if you've got any issues at all, you can write to us at info@myjoyonline.com. That's the email address where you can send a personal relationship challenge that you have. And we're just going to put it on the table like we've done in the past couple of weeks. Every Friday here on the show, we get you know, a professional to help you with it, but we also allow everybody else watching us to get in with their say. And we've had some very incredible contributions in the past weeks. So today we have a letter, and we want to play back to you that letter, as we always do, and then we'll begin the conversation. So here we go with the letter that we received.
Dear AM, I am married. I got married 2 years ago. I love my husband so much. We have a 1.5-year-old son. Dear AM, before marriage, I was a carefree girl. I used what I had to get what I wanted. To be honest, I am intelligent, but I am also striking or beautiful comparably. During my national service after uni, I got to know that big men at the bank I worked at stared at me many times, very lustfully too. I also joined in a bit, not too many times. We traveled for workshops, auditing trips, even 3 times outside Ghana. Dear AM, in short, I had a relationship with this middle-level manager. Back then, he had just gotten married. I was also a newly employed girl after national service. He gave me everything. Things continued. He had 3 kids over the years, and now 7 years later, I am also married, and he still wants to continue a relationship. Before my marriage, we broke up. However, he started making approaches soon after he was appointed managing director. And as managing director, he controls everything, and he also keeps harassing me. Sincerely, I am into my husband. I love him. My MD will have none of it. Dear AM, I don't know what to do. Counsel me. Worried Sylvia Obuase.
Oh, Sylvia, thank you very much for the letter that you've written. I'm not sure I have anything extensive to say, except to say, get out of that place.
You
That's
mean
all.
the workplace?
Yeah.
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 Ask for a transfer.
Initially, I was thinking, ask for transfer. Is it the same managing director who's going to transfer you? I mean, he controls everything. I was thinking, okay, find another job, but that could take a while. So get out. But I don't know if that's going to be, you know, a huge, how do I put it, burden on your husband. I don't know, but you have to get out. That's what I can say.
Well, okay, so I will take it from three perspectives.
Okay.
And I know that many people tend to go through, many of us tend to go through some of these, the beginning aspect of life and trying to go through the exploratory phases. And she also just went through as a normal person and trying to see whether she can go through relationships and have some experiences. That's how I will classify her first section of life, making entry into the office as a service person. And then over time, she got into her own, you know, because as human beings, you tend to build confidence and try to find yourself in a perspective. And I think that she's found herself in a perspective. She says that this is not what I want, and I'm making a decision, and I'm having a relationship. And she's telling us through this letter that I came to the gentleman and said, look, look, you and I have been through this for a long time, but I found somebody else. There seemed to have been some agreement or consensus at that point. How they transition to this point where the gentleman is now almost like stalking or harassing her, I think is unbelievable. Even though...
It is believable to me.
Yeah, even though it is not unusual. The thing is, I don't think she has to leave the workplace. She has to stand her ground and make an intervention. Let somebody intervene in this.
Who, the board?
Because, not the board. Because I think she wouldn't have been undertaking this relationship without colleagues not knowing. Because if you look at Sylvia, this is a relationship or an environment she's very much used to, for which nobody would have been oblivious of their relationship.
But if you were dating a married man, because this boss, even when he was, when Sylvia was dating him, he was married. I'm not sure it would be a public matter that other people would know.
Yes.
Even if they did, it would be just the rumors. And I'm not sure she would have confirmed it.
It is not a public matter. What definitely I'm saying is there will be one or two who are either friends to him and to you, who he may respect, and for which you need to confine in for them to intervene for you. Because this is not the time...
So talk to him so he can stop harassing you.
Yes, because it is not as safe that they still have a relationship. If they had a relationship ongoing, they had agreed based on consensus that, look, I want to keep my marriage or go and marry and then keep the relation. That's another thing. This time they had agreed to stop. So this time, I am taking it, it's almost like it's fresh harassment. Fresh harassment.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, if somebody is harassing me, okay, of course I'm not a woman, but if somebody was harassing me and I don't want to stop the work, if I love the work, there's no way I'm going to leave.
Okay, so here's the thing. Sylvia terms what is happening as harassment, but I want to go beyond that and say this. What if he's genuinely into her because, you know, they had
the managing director.
Yes, they had a relationship. They had a relationship for a while, even when he was married. So this is somebody that, from his point of view, he would also say he's into. And he feels, when I was married, we were still doing this. You are married, this shouldn't stop us from still doing this. And I like you. I mean, we can do it. So for him, he's not thinking about it as harassment. It's just somebody that he's into that, you know, he's chasing again or trying to, because, and I guess some people also want to believe that once you loved me and we did so much together, I don't think it's gone. He wants to revive it.
Well, that's true.
So it may not be to him harassment.
Oh,
It just may be showing and trying to get him to appreciate where he's coming from.
Well, that's true. But then I did a recall of history of Sylvia. Sylvia entered at a stage of vulnerability in her life, and then also took chances and say, look, it looks like my stage of vulnerability coincides with a situation where I can also exploit. And so she exploited a situation. Now I am saying, even though both of us were into each other, I've become somebody of my own. And I believe that both of them have a right to indicate that I feel I want to go onto this path. Yes, the manager can decide to have that feeling, but it's a feeling now. It's no more like because of those past experiences you can put it together.
It's not a mutual thing.
Yes. Now even you have even put it better or in a good perspective. It's not mutual.
I'm just wondering who Sylvia could go to get them to talk to him when he is the boss.
And seriously, we all have worked with people that we have crushes on. You admire this person, but the discipline that we all need to have is not to go to the next step. You have.
Except that this is somebody you've gone to the next step with.
Yes.
And you've pulled out.
Exactly.
So there is a history.
Exactly my point. There's a history. But we all agreed at a certain point in time to have a case closed. And
so you think she shouldn't go? She shouldn't leave?
No, she shouldn't leave.
I say she should leave.
Get a new job. I am thinking the lawyers that she needs to hire are one or two others who respect the
lawyers.
Oh, well, I mean...
okay. Also, so people to step
to
in.
intervene,
Okay.
yes.
I thought, okay. All right. Well, listen, that's just what we're thinking, but, you know, we're not professionals when it comes to this area. So we've called up Auntie Flora Saki, who is a counselor. She's read through Sylvia's letter, and she would help us with the way forward. Auntie Flora, good morning to you. I hope you're well.
Good morning. Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
And how are you?
Oh, very well, thank you. So we've just added our little minds to this big issue. You can handle it way better than we can. So what do you think of this letter?
Yeah, I think wrong is wrong. You know, if you are married and somebody else is married and you have an illicit relationship with that person, we call that adultery. In fact, double adultery because both are married. And she should stand her ground and say no, because I think that there are so many laws governing life that I told a group of young people some years ago that some laws are not written in the sky for you to read them, but they are at work. You know, we know in life that whatever you sow, you reap. So if she goes into this thing and that is wrong, she's sowing a bad seed for her own marriage. Now, it may even continue generations after her. Sometimes your children, grandchildren will go through some issues because of what you did wrong. And if she's had a sexual relationship with this man, the sex is something far more than physical. It's emotional, psychological, and even spiritual. Now, when two people go to bed, they exchange what we call deposits. And these deposits remain in you, and it's like a bank account. Once now and again, that deposit will go, pop up in your life. So because they've had this relationship, that thing is there. So the man feels that he has something in here that he can claim. And, the guns have this expression, like momo, so they have this exchange that's in them. And that's why when you have an illicit relationship with somebody, or you dated somebody years before, the moment you see this person, because of that deposit, there's that fresh renewal of, feelings for each other. But it is wrong, and one day it will cost it. Some of these things, they cost you in other areas of life. You may have difficulties, difficulties, and you will not understand why, because every illicit relationship brings a curse on you. And so for her, the sake of her own future, happiness, she should stop it. And then so that it doesn't even affect her children, because adultery is wrong, and we pay for it. And then the guilt will also affect her peace, her relationship, her relationship with God, if she has any. Or the fact that you are doing something wrong will afflict your conscience, and it will disturb your peace. Women, we are emotional. And these things affect us more than a woman cannot have a sexual relationship with somebody and forget, unless, of course, God forbid that she's selling her body on the street. That's something different. But if you're a decent woman and you have this wrong relationship, it will afflict your conscience. You'll not be at peace. And so, as I heard somebody say that she can leave the office, I'm not sure she can have a job that can give her the same financial standing. But if it will be, if she can get somewhere else where she can enjoy the same salary or something similar, is good. But she should avoid it at all costs. It may not be easy, it may not be pleasant, but for the future, it will be better than now.
Okay. So, Roland was suggesting get some people so they can talk to him to back down. What do you make of that suggestion?
Men will be, the man probably will be resentful that you've exposed him. And if you are working directly under him, he may victimize you for it. So I think she can settle it between the two of them. And then if he insists on, putting pressure on her, she can, threaten that she will expose him. But I'm not sure he will like it if somebody else, especially if the person is working in the same, workplace, that he will like it. And he may victimize her for it in the future.
Okay. So what if, I'm just thinking, because if they were going out, they probably would have met other friends, not necessarily within the same office, but she may have been exposed to one or two of his personal friends.
I'm not sure if there's something, if that possibility is there, she can try it, but I'm not sure. Normally, a man will see that as exposing him, and he may victimize and not like it. So if she avoids him, because they have that relationship in the past, probably easy for him to call her or not, contact her, fix a date for the time for them to meet somewhere and all that. If she ignores that, maybe not, respond to him on the phone. The problem these days is the phone too. Once you can connect with somebody on the phone, it makes it easy for these days. So he should ignore his phone calls or text messages and all that. And then as much as possible, avoid seeing him or meeting him in the workplace. But if it's such that he frustrates her and she can get somewhere better, then she can leave.
Okay. Roland, Auntie Flora is on.
Now, the point of getting maybe a colleague or somebody that is mutual to them is the fact that if you look at the history of this lady, she made entry into the organization right after service. So I am thinking they couldn't have carried this on secretly without maybe a gentleman's work pal or friend not knowing, etc. So it's in that perspective, yes.
Yeah, it is true. Especially with a lady, maybe a close friend, but some ladies are very secretive. You will never know. If it carried on for quite a long time, maybe somebody who works with them or who is the same space may have sensed it, even that they will deny. But whatever it takes to stop it, I think she should. It may not be a pleasant or easy thing to do, but it will cost far more than yielding to that kind of pressure. Because later, it will affect, it will affect reputation and, that what if the man's wife also gets to know or her own husband also gets to know. So it will bring confusion in both families. And personally, I think that the cost will be far more when she yields to succumbs to this kind of pressure than when she moves out of it. It's something that she will have to fight out, maybe cause it might cause some skirmishes, in the present, but it will be a safeguard for the future, which I think her children may even, inherit and create problems in their own life.
You said the children will inherit what?
I mean, the problems that she will create now.
Auntie Flora, I want to ask you about this last thing. Her husband, so Sylvia's husband. Once you talk about the phone, there's a possibility that if there's communication happening, he might get to know. So how does he come into this? Should she mention it to him?
This is a delicate thing. Sometimes when you mention, you're sincerely genuine, you want him to know your struggles or what has gone on in the past before, and the person cannot manage it. It becomes, something that a weapon that he will use now and again probably will, raise it up again, especially if you have a working relationship with the person. Let's say you're working in a space with somebody, and your husband or your wife knows that there has been that relationship with you, and maybe for genuine reasons you have a meeting that may last probably far longer than the working hours, and you tell, we have a meeting and I'll come home at 9 p.m. and the man knows that this past, relationship is there in the meeting. You have problems. You either, fight you or be suspicious or be, what do you call it? You'll be not easy. You will not be at peace because he knows that you are in a meeting with somebody you've dated before, and it creates conflict at home between them. When you see that this person has been a former an ex, and the person is closely working with you, and maybe you have to even travel out. Sometimes you travel to another place where you spend some days, the weekend or so, and the other person knows that. Even the man's wife, probably, you never know what the man's wife knows. Sometimes they know what's happening at the office space. You know that this lady there has been in a relationship with my husband before. Now they are traveling out, sometimes outside the country, sometimes somewhere outside the city. You have a meeting and they stay in a hotel for a weekend or whatever. And the other person, the other spouses may not be at peace at all because they know this relationship is there. And as the guns say, like Momo, once there's this, you meet the person again, you have had that relationship before, anything can spark of fresh fire in both of them, and then it will create problems later for their marriages.
Auntie Florence, you're a guy?
Not really. I'm a mountain girl, but I was born and raised in Accra. So I think I speak Ga more than my own dialect.
Okay. Because you kept mentioning Lai Momo. That one washing
I come from a Brim. My maiden name is Anof.
Okay, all right.
Auntie Flora, we thank you for your time today. Enjoy the weekend. Thank you for the intervention.
Yeah, thank you too.
All right. So that's our counselor for today. He has some messages on WhatsApp. You too can send me a regular text message using the same line or a WhatsApp message. So this one says, worried Sylvia, please try and record. Kindly do not call the line, otherwise you just interrupt the reading of the messages and we can't pick your calls on this one. You can call us on our regular phone numbers. All right, so this one says, worried Sylvia, please try and record him as an evidence, okay, and ask for transfer from him. And if he refuses, then you use that evidence against him. So record. So that's a suggestion. You're shaking your head. No, record him, and then ask for the transfer.
Use that as blackmail. It can bounce.
If he refuses to give you,
bad.
then you can use it to blackmail. Yeah, exactly, because you're also involved. So if there are some people expose him, you expose yourself.
There are some people who are emotionally crazy, and you know.
See, that's why I say if the person really is into you and he thinks he's in love with you, Okay, this one says, I guess his boss too was married at the time she was dating him. The law of karma. Okay, Joe from Inchi. This is not the kind of messages that we want. Yeah, she did it. It's happened, and so what? She's where she is, and we want to move on from there. So unless you want to look forward ahead with us, I wouldn't read. It came back to bite you and blah 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 blah. Like we're saying, we're not saint. This one says, I'm Emmanuel. I have 2 submissions to make. She should try to get a recording proof that her MD is harassing her. She should tell her husband about it, so both can decide what to do. 3, quit the job. Trust God for another one. Okay. Fella in Japan. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Mama.
Oh, you're good, fella?
Yeah.
All right. Talk to Sylvia.
Yeah. Sister Sylvia should open up and tell her husband.
Hey,
Masa.
Masa.
Previous relationship.
Fella. Talk to
Because
fella.
when she wants to take a step right now, and later on, the man got to know about what she's living in all lies to her husband. So she need to open up to her husband first about what is going on.
Okay, so
then she can take up.
All right, so fella, say you're the husband. What would you do?
Yeah, I'll just take it lightly because everybody used to have bad past.
So how would you help the situation?
Okay, fine.
How
you
would
you are the man now. You need to know, let the guy know she's now a married man.
Okay, so you have a man-to-man conversation.
She should be a woman to let her husband know. That is the way.
Okay.
Because when she went in hiring lawyers and all those things, and later on the man got to know, maybe it's going to turn out something black.
All right. Okay, fella. I get you. Thank you. Let's hear from Francis in Yeji. Francis, good morning. Hello, Francis.
Yeah.
Francis, you have to speak up a bit for us.
Yeah. I want to talk to Sylvia. If I were her, she has to engage his husband with his boss and come out boldly with a bold move and explain things before the two gentlemen. And that maybe his boss will understand and quit for the relationship. This is what I can say about it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's speak to Kissy in Barcelona. Hello, Kissy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I think the best the lady can do is to first confess, go to your pastor, confess, and then possible.
Well, why is she confessing? It's not like she cheated on him.
No, it's something you have done. And now that same thing is trying to haunt you. So why don't you tell your pastor? And then, then your pastor would
Kissy?
Yes.
Is it the thing that's hunting her, or it's rather the gentleman who was in the thing with her who is hunting her? Because it's not what she's done. That's
the man is disturbing her.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
So what's the pastor going to do?
The pastor can even invite the man and talk to him. Or the woman can befriend the man's wife and confess to her. And yes, this is it. I was a national service person in your husband's job, and this is what I did. So please, your husband is now chasing me. I've done the wrong thing, but your husband is chasing me. Help me block that.
And you think Kissy should still be employed in that same organization?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your suggestion as well. We've got David. David is in Sandema. Hello, David.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, David. Everything okay with you?
Mr. Roland.
Good morning. Good morning, David. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. Please, if I'm in her shoes, what I would do is that I'll just go straight to my boss, sit with him, and tell him all the facts, the truth.
Oh, Sylvia has done that too.
We had an agreement before I got married. And then we agreed that the relationship was before my marriage. So now that I'm married, I don't think the relationship can go on. So will you allow me, or you want me to talk to people? For instance, maybe we can even take it to a pastor. Maybe the lady can be somebody who attends church, the man too. And he knows some people who will be able to talk to the man, say, oh, now that you are married, if you allow this girl to take this to your wife, and then maybe the husband, there will be a whole lot of confusion. So please, let it be. So I think that she should first confront her boss on the issue and tell him that I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. I'm married. You are also married. And let's forget about the past. And then we'll move on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. You make it sound really smooth. I have a feeling that Sylvia has done a lot of talking already. Daniel is in Latavia Koshi. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
Yes, Daniel, if you were her husband, would you like to know what she did in the past?
Please, the question again.
Oh, I'm just asking you, if you're Sylvia's husband in this case, would you like to know?
Okay. If I were to be Sylvia's husband in this case, I would like to know.
Okay.
I would like to know because my current wife, I remember the time I started dating her. I was with her and escort him, her. And I asked her, she confessed to me that they're recording the man. One, she has to record the man. Two, she shouldn't make her mind that she's taking the job. If the job, the manager is not the sole ownership of the job, it's the organization that the manager too has been employed, and he has rights to that rank. And I can give her that offer that I can purport to be the brother of the husband. And I can step in and let the man know that that relationship is not known to the family. We are warning him to back away from the girl, for the girl to have this.
Oh, you're volunteering to be Sylvia's brother?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right,
and
Daniel.
I'll confront the man, and I'll tell you that, look, enough is enough. Now you've got to a point that you have to stop worrying my in-law.
Hey, Daniel.
That's a very nice suggestion. I didn't think about that, but thank you for volunteering.
Charlie, Daniel,
Okay, David will be the last caller. Hello, David. David is in Tamale. Good morning, David. Yes,
Good
David.
morning.
Good morning. Everything okay?
Yeah, everything is okay.
Great. Let's hear you.
To me, what I would suggest to the lady is that she should kindly inform the husband and seek for a transfer from that place to a different region.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I think. That way, she will not be near or closer to the so-called MD.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you.
For your suggestions as well. This one says, DIM, I am married. Okay. It says, so I've been married for 7 years with 3 kids, and I used to date one lady before I got married. And here's the case: we had blood covenant during our relationship, of which she forced me to, and now I can't get over her, and I'm scared my wife will get to know. Worried some in Akwatia. Well, not exactly. I mean, kind of related to what we're talking about, but that's not what we're discussing. I don't know if you have one or two to say. On the blood covenant thing. Yeah.
I do not.
Does that thing work though?
If I did one, I'm not sure I would have believed in it. So I'm not superstitious. So if I did one, I'm not sure I would have believed in it. But I think if it's religious, then he should go to his maybe or pray to God. I don't think it would work. But the thing is that there's a physical aspect of what of all this. He really is into the X. And that's a difficulty. And I think that once he's married, he should concentrate on the wife and see the good things about the wife.
Yeah.
And because it's more, I see this as more of a physical thing than anything.
Okay. So our director is a pastor, right? Fred Potiphar is a pastor. He says we're going to be discussing this next week. So God willing. This is one that we will, because I don't know. I don't know if I believe in it. I don't think I do believe in it.
Blood covenant. Mama, we know your blood covenant is here. Forget. The way you and I, unless I will forget it, Kurasif.
And this one says, so this is AB. AB in Takrady sending this message. AB says, my little advice to Sylvia is she has to own up to her husband and tell her husband all her past. Tell him how it's also affecting her today. But she should first build a great trust and love with her husband and find the right condition to pour out her stuff in, great remorse and regret to the husband. The husband would take things from there. Okay, so I didn't think that would
Yeah, it looks like that seems to be coming up.
Exactly.
I don't know whether it means, and most of these messages are coming from men.
Yeah.
So it means that they could accommodate it.
Lexis from Calio is also singing.
I don't know whether, for me, it's irrelevant whether you move with somebody or not. But generally, having studied men and the way we are, I don't think men take things lightly. Yeah, but when I dream, we go bring them up, man. Man be wicked, oh Allah.
Well, honestly, no, I don't think even if it's like wickedness, but some people simply can't control the emotions. Like they'll be thinking about.
So somebody am a woman.
Even though largely, like you're somebody's ex.
Yeah.
I am somebody's ex. But I think we don't kind of like pay attention to that. You know, you marry someone and you think, okay, they don't have a past. But I'm also thinking that what if he's not able to control the information that you've given him, especially because you work in the same office. And he would be, just like Auntie Flora said, when you now genuinely say you're doing something, he's now imagining things, and it's just going to, so, I mean, for me, I don't know. But I didn't get a lot of people saying she should leave, because that's where I came from the beginning. I still insist that she should find a new job and leave.
The guy is no threat.
Yeah, sometimes I think it's
just they feel their lady.
Do you know why I say that? Because see, she's now freshly married. She's just like 2 years or something, and issues come up in marriages, in relationships, and you never know. You will be in one of those moods, and he will be the person comforting you.
Fantastic.
The person that you say, I am into my husband, before you know it,
Charlie,
you're back in his arms.
Let's end this. Where Mama is taking us to next level.
It's true. It is possible. I know, right? I just said find a new job.
Just in case you want to give us more of your stories, you can do so. info@myjoyonline.com is right there. Just
all right. Before Roland just rushes everything, I want to say thank you for your contributions. We got many people contributing. Obviously, we couldn't read all your messages, but we thank you for your contribution. If you've got anything you want to share with us, just like Sylvia has done, kindly write to info@myjoyonline.com, info@myjoyonline.com. And Sylvia, we've got many suggestions for you. I know that you'll be able to pick up bits and pieces from it, but just in case you need further follow-ups and you need us to get you into contact with Auntie Flora, kindly let us know through the same email. Roland?
Well, that'll be it for now. But next we have to talk about Afrodan. They're organizing a musical concert for kids to teach them the role music plays in their upbringing. And we'll be having that conversation up next. Do stay with us.
All right, so we're talking Afrodan, or Music Haven. My guest in the studio is Mr. Eden Bintum Techimaika. He's CEO of Music Haven. He'll tell us all about it. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Do you play any instrument or do you sing?
Yeah, well, I play the organ, I play the piano, I play the saxophone.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's a lot. You must be very busy.
Well, I try to.
How did the Music Haven start? Where did it come from?
I happen to be the Ghana representative for ABRSM. ABRSM stands for the Associated Board of the Royal Schools of Music.
Okay.
The ABRSM is the biggest music education body in the world. They are the biggest music publishers in the world, and they are the biggest music examining body.
Okay.
And therefore, working with them as their representative in Ghana, my job is to nurture the love of music and inspire achievement in it. We have been at it I have been working with ABRSM for almost 30 years.
Wow.
As their representative.
Actively in Ghana?
Yes, in Ghana. So in Ghana, every year we have about 350 candidates sitting for the practical music examinations. The practical meaning you will be required to play an instrument, and you will be graded according to your performance on your instrument. And then we also examine in the theory of music. And therefore, students prepare to be examined in the theory of music.
Okay.
You know.
And how have we performed as in Ghana for the past 5 years?
There is still a lot of improvement. You know, music education in Ghana generally is almost dead. You can't find it in the government schools. It's just a few private schools that run any serious music lessons. And so because of that, I decided to then form a school.
Okay.
And that's how Music Haven was born, to improve the standard of music education generally in Ghana. And I must say that we are doing quite well, because almost all our students pass and pass very well. ABRSM certificates are accepted all around the world.
Okay.
You know, you can even enter university with ABRSM, particularly the higher grades.
Okay.
You know, the exam starts from grade 1 to grade 8.
Okay.
And then you can go to diploma, licentiate, and fellowship. Fellowship is the top, you know, the masters in music studies. And so basically that is it.
Okay, so at what age do the children get in?
It depends on the child. My daughter, she started at age 4, and now she herself is a music teacher in the United States.
Okay.
It depends on the ability of the child.
So in terms of the examination, what's the common instruments that the candidates tend to play?
In Ghana, it's mainly piano.
Okay.
That I have been trying to encourage people to take even to the organ. You know, most people don't know that the organ is a different instrument from the piano. We use those two names interchangeably.
Yes.
But a piano is a percussion instrument, and the organ is a harmonic instrument.
Okay.
You know, you play the organ with your hands and with your feet. You know, piano you play basically with your hands. There are 3 pedals, 2 or 3 pedals beneath the piano, but those are used differently from the pedals that you find on the organ.
I'm thinking we should spend some time in the music school so you can practically teach us a few things.
Yes, yes. But we examine, in Ghana, of course, the keyboard instruments like the piano and the organ are the most common, but we also examine in all the instruments.
Okay.
All the instruments, even harp, even though I haven't had any students show up for harp. But we even examine in harp.
So tell us what's going to be happening at the British Council tomorrow.
It's today, actually.
Oh, today.
It's today at 4 o'clock at the British Council. We are having the High Scorers concert. This concert will be for students who did very highly in the examinations. So students who made distinction in the exam, and students who made a merit. Merit is below distinction.
Okay.
But these are students who have done very well, distinguished themselves in these exams, and we put them all together and have a concert. The idea also is to inspire excellence in music. So when the kids know that their parents are going to be there, their friends, their peers, you know, that kind of gingers them up.
Yeah.
So that's what is happening this evening.
Okay.
And it starts at 4 o'clock. Everybody must be seated by then. And then the game will start.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is invited to
Everybody. Anybody who can make the time to come. And there will be different genres of music. You know, our main focus is on classical music.
Okay.
But there will also be jazz and other contemporary music,
Okay.
depending on what the student.
So there will be high life, for instance.
No, there won't be high life, unfortunately. You know, we are trying seriously to harmonize high life, put it on paper, so people can go to a music shop, buy a piece, and play.
High life is not on paper.
A few people have made attempts at harmonizing them, putting them on, but basically, no. Most people play by ear.
Okay.
You know, but I want to see the day we want to publish a book which you can buy and just open it and play Yaponsa and all those, you know, those high life classics.
So the kind of music that we would hear today would be the ones that can be harmonized, the one that, you know, something that is written?
Yes. Okay. Every piece that will be performed is written.
Okay.
ABRSM is the biggest music publisher in the world, you know, so nobody's going to play by ear.
Okay.
And we also have performances by teachers, you know, basically music haven teachers.
Tell us the gate fee then.
There's no gate fee. It's
Oh,
absolutely free, you know, and Music Haven is sponsoring that.
Okay,
yes.
Great. So this is from 4, and the good thing is today is Friday.
Yes,
so you can,
yes, from 4 to about 8. You know, we have a lot of music up our sleeves, and we want people, you know, my appeal, now that I have this opportunity, the Ministry of Education and the government of Ghana must pay a little more attention to music education. And look, the turnover worldwide in the music industry, in different aspects of the music industry, is about 60 billion United States dollars.
That's a lot. That's huge.
It's huge. And if we position ourselves to be able to make just 10% of that, we've made a killing. You know, but music is being completely abandoned.
True.
I was very sad when I heard that the kids in our high schools called music the most useless subject in class. I said, I could kill somebody for saying that.
Yeah.
You know, and but if you educate a child musically, you increase the child's intellectual ability. When you perform music, you are using the whole brain. We use our brains, different regions of our brains, for doing various things, different things. When you play music, when you play an instrument, you are learning to count, because music, it sounds set to time. You are learning to read, using your hands. On the organ, you use your feet. The whole brain is tasked for this activity.
Yeah.
And therefore, when children start very early, by the time they get to high school, their IQ is much higher than kids who never had the opportunity of music education.
That's very revealing.
Yes.
So just to end the conversation, how do people get in touch if they want to find the Music Haven and bring their children maybe?
Yes, the NAMA is 0244 35 6173.
Can you please say that again?
0244 35 6173.
Okay,
yes.
so 4 p.m. today, British Council.
British Council.
It is free.
It is completely free.
Okay.
And there will be some notable personalities there.
Okay. Yes. All right. So we'll see you later today at the British Council. Thank you, sir, for passing through the show and telling us about today's concert.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Stay with us. We've got a concert of our own in the studio. We've got Francis Amo performing live for us here on the show. So stay with us. It's a Friday on the AM show.
We bow before you. We praise your name. Hallelujah. We honor me. Yeshira wo ungutona ya kusuwo ya peja wo mire ale because you are wonderful, you are worthy, oh Lord, you are wonderful, you are worthy, oh Lord. You are wonderful. You are worthy, oh Lord. You are wonderful. You are worthy,
love this. I think that all of us are enjoying this. Just to make sure that we usher ourselves into the weekend with Francis. Francis, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Yeah, and the last time I saw you was at a great event in one great church, Life Empowerment Chapel,
Yes,
and that was wonderful. And you're just telling me you were with Diana Hamilton at the last event, both in Accra and Kumasi as well, and that's good work you're doing. How so far is work and the business?
By His grace, we are on, and the Lord is taking us.
Yeah.
This is by the grace of God.
Yeah.
So,
but we just want you to be with us, help us worship, usher us into the weekend. Because God is always a wonderful God.
He has been a faithful God to us.
Yeah.
From Monday up to this time, He has been a faithful God.
Definitely.
There are lots of people that we went out with them and we wake up with them, but we cannot see them today. Just this morning, I had one accident that one ran about in Kumasi, and it was so bad. And but if you have strength, say, I want you to know, say, the Lord has been faithful.
That's right.
The Lord has been faithful.
That's right. That's right.
The Lord has been faithful. That's why I said, we give you
Francis Amoh has been wonderful, and for many of you watching, you have been giving me more of your messages, and I'll just read a couple of them for you. Fifi says, look, Francis Amoh is making my morning this morning. I am in the spirit. That's a good one. And in this spirit, I say happy birthday to Emerald Abina Boateng of Eldis Montessori School, North Legon. You are 3 years today. It's from auntie and uncle. Also from Osei Boateng, watching us from Kokodia. You say that Francis Amoh, you are a spirit-filled human being. Thank you for making my morning this morning. And from Kwadaso, Kumasi, the Ashanti Regional Capital, we have a J. Osei, who says, Francis Amoh, you are God's gift to humanity. Thank you for worship this morning. And we also do have this one, same from Kumasi. This one is from Edu, and Eric Wachi says, thank you, Francis Amoh. You have put me in the spirit. Thank you, AM Show. Thank you, Joy News. Oh, that'll be it for the show today. Francis is ending, and we have to say thank you, Francis, for good work. God bless you, and God bless your handiworks. Thank you also, our viewers, and always stay with us right here. We have regular programming right here on the channel. Make sure that you're safe during the weekend. Always comment with the hashtag ArriveAlive, hashtag AM Show, hashtag Joy News, and very importantly, always get to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, MyJoy9 TV. That'll be it for the morning. Bye-bye.